Okay. Okay. Chat, we're going to do a tactically acquired video. We are gonna finish with a tactically acquired video. Okay? And this one is about one of the military's greatest type of soldiers, Marines, what have you. They're greatest. Chat, it's time to learn about the beloved Sher missile. That's right, chat. We're going to be learning about the military working dogs. We're doing the military canine units. And yes, Baconator, I know. Yes, it is fur missile time, chats. Are we ready? Me ready. Let's go.
It's been over 10,000 years and we still haven't found a better companion than the fur missile.
Hell yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about some of the greatest warriors the world has ever seen. Historically known as the Canine Corps or War Dogs, today we simply call them Military Working Dogs or MWDs. Admittedly, that's nowhere near as cool as the Canine Corps, but the military is going to military
yeah.
and the need to create an acronym once again outweighed a gangster sounding name.
Yes, I 100% agree with this. Bring back the Canine Corps. Absolutely. The police still call them canine units. Military, bring back the Canine Corps. Bring back the Canine Corps. Hell yes. Start a petition. Start a petition. These beautiful fur missiles need the respect of the Canine Corps.
Name. That's neither here nor there. I'm getting sidetracked again. Anyway, they've been a vital part of combat operations for generations, proving time and again that no technology can match their loyalty, instincts, or
Grumpy, I know. Wait. Are they called Canine Corps or are they called working dogs? Because that was the issue at hand, because they need to be called the Canine Corps again, not working dogs. That's the point of contention.
It's proving time and again that no technology can match their loyalty, instincts, or unparalleled ability to literally sniff out danger. Now, the idea of dogs in warfare isn't anything new. In fact, ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans were already putting their four-legged friends to work by at least 600 BC. Back then, these dogs were like the Swiss Army knives of the battlefield, used for everything from guard duty to combat. Now, fast forward to today, and no nation has leaned as heavily into their potential quite like the United States. That said, for most of US military history, their service could be considered casual at best. In fact, it wasn't until the
And I thought that was coming from the video. I'm like, wait a minute, is that like a part of the, is that sniffing part of the video?
nation has leaned as heavily into their potential quite like the United States. That said, for most of US military history, their service could be considered casual at best. In fact, it wasn't until the chaos of World War I that dogs started showing real potential as messengers and sentries. Even so, America didn't have an official dog program at that time. It wasn't until World War II that we got our act together and began recognizing these furry companions as legitimate members of the armed forces. The turning point came in 1942 with the establishment of the US Army Canine Corps. And like everything else in that era, it relied heavily
I love that. Time to nom some Nazis? Give me Nazis. Give me Nazis.
It relied heavily on everyday citizens stepping up. Americans donated an estimated 40,000 dogs to the Dogs for Defense program. But this wasn't some backyard free-for-all where anyone could toss their half-feral mutt chained up behind the shed. Nah, only a select few breeds made the cut, such as German Shepherds, Belgian Sheepdogs, and Siberian Huskies, to name a few. The military cut, such as German Shepherds, Belgian Sheepdogs, and Siberian Huskies, to name a few.
Huskies? Okay, I know Huskies look wolf-like, but I would think that unless they were using the sled dogs. If they were using them as sled dogs, okay, Huskies make sense. But as, like, combat dogs, even in colder environments, a Husky does not make for a good like scent dog or like a fur muscle dog. They're just like they're too friendly. Huskies are just too friendly. Maybe not even messenger dogs, Moose, because unfortunately Huskies are they like to do their own thing. They are walking dogs, but if you just cut them loose, they will just go off and do their own thing. They're fucking chaos, okay? They are absolute fucking chaos, but they are good working dogs when they are like hooked up to like a sled. When you've got them like when you've got them quote unquote like confined, you've got them rigged up to a sled to pull a sled or to pull a cart, they're fantastic. They're great working dogs. But they're not good like for messengers. Yeah, there you go, Silver. Yeah, they're way too independent to do anything more than basically pulling a sled or pulling a cart or something.
The military also had strict standards for age and size. So unfortunately, if you had your dreams of getting your Pomeranian to tear into Hitler's ankles, Uncle Sam wasn't interested. Funny enough, in true Marine Corps fashion, they had to do things their way. Given a choice, they had a preference for the Doberman Pinschers, so
actually, this footage is Coast Guard, you idiot. So this was a Coast Guard dog. Interesting. Like even the Coasties had dogs. Oh, I love it. I fucking love that even Coasties had them.
they linked up with the Doberman Pinscher Club of America, which became the Marine Corps' go-to supplier for war dogs. Because of course, only the Marines would look at one of the most successful military dogs in history and say, yeah, I get it, the German Shepherd is good, but I need my dog to have more murderous intent behind its eyes. All that said, it's important to remember that this was still an early experiment, which meant not everything worked out as planned. Mine detection, for example, had mixed results, but when it came to sniffing out enemy activity, these dogs proved their worth in ways that no human or gadget could replicate. Fast forward to the Korean War, and military dogs continued to earn their Tritos. Dogs were so effective on night patrols that they freaked out the North Koreans and Chinese to the point where loudspeakers would blast propaganda begging Americans to take your dog and go home. Now, despite their successes, the program saw cutbacks after the war, only to expand again during the Vietnam War. You're gonna see this as a reoccurring and common theme throughout this video. My best guess, and remember, it's only a guess, is that Uncle Sam took issue with ancient canine tactics outshining their best attempts at modern military technological advances. Not saying the military was being salty, but the evidence is clearly there. Now, Vietnam marked a turning point.
There's nothing worse than getting, than basically a higher up lauding the greatness of this new technological marvel. It's going to replace everything. We're backing it 100%, full steam ahead. We're getting the support of the Pentagon. And then a dog comes around and goes, yeah, I could do that about 1,000 times better and a hell of a lot more easily and more effectively. Yeah, that'll piss off the upper ranks and go, okay, get those dogs out of here. We need to facilitate our government contractors. We need to keep the money machine rolling with that. Yeah.
In the history of military working dogs, with several key changes occurring during this time. For starters, the German Shepherd was chosen as the standard breed for military dogs, which was a great move. But in an effort to balance out good decisions with stupid ones, the Army decided to close the dog training school at Fort Carson in 1957.
God damn it.
Well, apparently the Air Force also thought this was a dumb move and saw value in keeping the school going. So in 1958, they continued training at Lackland Air Base, where they continue this training to this day. Now look, I know I give the Air Force...
And like when he was like, German Shepherds are a great choice because Dobies are great war dogs. And I think the reason why the German Shepherd was and the Malinois, like it's the German Shepherd.
You sure do have a pretty mouth. Squeak.
I think the reason, not only that, Tashi, when it comes to the Shepherds, the German Shepherds and the Belgian Shepherds or the Malinois, they are the best all around canine. The Dobies were probably good for their aggression of being able to take down the bad guys. And then you have like other dogs that maybe worked good, like really excelled good as messengers. But, the other two weren't good maybe at tracking. But shepherds are like have been proven to be the best all-around dog. They don't do any one thing fantastic, but they do everything that the military needs it to do quite well. And so they as he said in the beginning, the German Shepherd is basically the Swiss Army knife of military and police working dogs. They can do pretty much everything and do it well. You know, maybe they don't hit the enemy as hard as the Dobie. Maybe they don't track as well as the Bloodhound, but they can still do both and be successful in their mission. And yeah, and they also have a very strong degree of intelligence. But I'm pretty sure the Malinois, on if you were to rate them in intelligence-wise, I do believe the Malinois does rank slightly higher than the German Shepherd on the intelligence scale, but they are pretty close. And they both have proven themselves equally well in their universal tasks as a canine unit.
Where they continue this training to this day. Now look, I know I give the Air Force a lot of shit, and I will never apologize for continuously pointing out their bougie activities time and time and time again. But credit where credit is due, the Air Force took lead on saving the dog program, so thanks, I guess. Air Force, you done good.
Happy Bill!
But you're also trying to kill the warthog, and I cannot let that go. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. During Vietnam...
Yeah, but, I'm trying to think, because I know, well, hang on a second. I know the Border Collies are highly intelligent. There was another one. Oh, I just had the breed in my head. It's another sheepdog. What the hell's it called? Airedale. The Airedale. The Airedale is another very smart dog. I said Border Collie. That was the first thing I said. Yeah, Border Collie was the first one. That was the first thing I said. The other one is the Airedale. The Airedale is another really smart one. Yellow Labs are smart. I'm not sure where they fit into the rankings of being like, quote unquote, the smartest dog. The only ones that I can think of off the top of my head, that might be like in terms of an intelligence scale of smarter than a Shepherd would be the Border Collie and the Airedale. I'm not 100% sure where the Husky ranks in terms of intelligence, because Huskies are also very intelligent animals. So I'm not exactly sure where they would rank. Like Labs are great working dogs. On their intelligence scale, I don't think they're as intelligent as like the Shepherd dog, and yeah, the Australian Shepherd. Yeah, that's another one. I kind of lumped the Australian Shepherd. Well, Aussie Border Collie and German Shepherd. I thought that the Airedale was ranked around the same level as either the Aussie or the Border Collie. Like Australian Shepherd, yeah, I kind of lumped that in with the Border Collie. But yeah, Australian Shepherds are very intelligent. In fact, they're free. When I was involved with my search and rescue group in Newfoundland, the lead canine in that search and rescue unit was actually an Aussie, and yeah, they are highly intelligent, great, like really smart dogs. I'm trying to think where the Husky is in rank. Yes, they can be drama queens, but Huskies are also highly intelligent. That's why they are escape artists. Huskies are known to be escape artists, and that's because they are highly intelligent. They can figure out how to get out of their enclosures. So they are high up there on that intelligence scale. Tibetan Mastiffs are strong. I don't think that they're that smart. So yeah, poodles can be, like, a lot of dogs are smarter than people think. It's just they don't recognize it. Anyway, we are going way off track here. Not that I mind, but we got a lot of videos to still go through. We will continue. Ranking Border Collie, Poodle, German Shepherd, Golden Retriever, Belgian Malinois. The Aussie's got to be up there with the Border Collie. Captain Rudy. The Australian Shepherd's got to be up there with the Border Collie. Has to be. Because they are really smart dogs.
Over 4,000 dogs served alongside 9,000 handlers, saving countless lives by detecting ambushes, mines, and booby traps. In addition to the direct benefits, their psychological impact was also significant by providing comfort to soldiers in an otherwise hostile and alien environment. Not only were dogs used as early warning systems in the thick vegetation, but sentry guard dogs were also utilized. In one famous incident, a Vietnamese sapper climbed a US embassy wall only to come face to face with an American goodest boy. He was bitten so hard that the MPs were able to track his blood trail and capture him. These
such a good boy. Such a good boy. Taking a 5-pound chunk out of the bad guy so they had a blood trail to follow. Good boy. Such a good boy.
Numerous tales of saving American lives meant that they were so despised that the Viet Cong put out a $20,000 bounty for their capture, which when adjusted for inflation is over $160,000. That goes to
And I'm reasonably sure that during America's insert into Iraq or Afghanistan, when they had the working dogs out there, I'm pretty sure they placed bounties on dogs at checkpoints too. Like I think that's been a staple. Anytime there have been canine units involved in a potential combat zone or in security work, a bounty typically does get put on them.
Show you how valuable man's best friend was at keeping our boys alive in this unforgiving environment. Now, while that story is only one of countless others, this era also holds one of the darkest chapters in military working dog history. When the US pulled out, most of the dogs were left behind, written off as surplus equipment. Handlers begged to bring them home, even offering to pay for transport, but the military refused. Many of these dogs were euthanized or handed over to the South Vietnamese forces.
Oh, God! Oh my God! Oh, that's fucking horrifying! Oh, I had no idea about this! Oh my God, that is fucking horrifying! They euthanized the... It's horrifying! Oh, oh my... I... Yeah. Your dog, same.
Who weren't trained to handle them. Vietnam-era handler Richard Cunningham once said, "Without our military dogs, there would be 10,000 more names on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall." I personally think that's an understatement. Public outrage over this led to the passage of Robbie's Law in 2000, ensuring that military dogs could be adopted after their service had ended. Now, if
by 2000. This only happened in the year 2000. Bear in mind, the Vietnam War concluded in the 70s. It took 30 fucking years for Congress to get off its fucking dumb asses and actually treat the dogs with compassion. It took 30 fucking years for them to realize these dogs are wonderful animals and to treat them with compassion. I fucking government. I fucking hate when they do. Damn it.
Vietnam was the kindling for taking military dogs seriously. 9/11 was the fuel that lit that fire. In Afghanistan and Iraq, dogs became indispensable for detecting IEDs with an 80% success rate, far surpassing the 50% detection rate of human patrols. Today, bomb detection dogs are valued at upwards of 150 grand, but their true value lies in the countless lives that they save.
And by the way, I'll like continue.
Today, there are roughly 2,500 military working dogs serving in the US military, with demand growing every year. Which is great and all, but unlike your mass-produced attitude adjusters, you can't just crank out a batch of four-legged war machines overnight. These fur missiles are meticulously bred, rigorously trained, and fiercely loyal. It takes a special breed, no pun intended, to be an MWD, which means not every dog is cut out for the job. Becoming a working dog starts with an intense selection process, with only about half of all candidates making it through training. To succeed, they need superhero level sensory skills, impeccable health, and the drive to work tirelessly for rewards. If you had to pick the poster child for military working dogs, it'd be the German Shepherd. These dogs have been the backbone of MWD programs worldwide for decades, and for good reason. They're big, strong.
Yes, I know. You've mentioned it before, and that's why I wanted to make sure you were here when I did this video. That is why I specifically wanted to make sure that you were here to be able to watch this with us. Because of him.
And versatile. Whether it's sniffing out bombs, patrolling perimeters, or comforting soldiers in rough times, these dogs can literally do it all. A German Shepherd hits the sweet spot between approachable and intimidating. While civilians see a protector, adversaries see a reason to rethink their life choices. That balance, paired with their smarts and adaptability, is why they've been the go-to breed for so long. All that said, they're quickly losing ground to another breed that we'll discuss a little later. But I do love me a Shepherd though. I have one myself, and her name is Gypsy Danger. And trust me, she is all...
Hey, Jay. Well, now we just learned a little something about Tactical. He loves some Pacific Rim. Xanax, that is the name of the main mech in Pacific Rim. Gypsy Danger. Great fucking choice, Tactical. Great choice. I love it.
All the vigilant, all the time. Love that sweet girl. How do I rank the German Shepherd? 8 out of 10, would recommend. Now let's talk about Labradors. If German Shepherds are the Swiss Army knives of MWDs, Labs are the laser-focused specialists. Their friendly demeanor and super sniffing capabilities make them perfect for detection roles like hunting down explosives or narcotics. Labs thrive in public-facing environments such as airports, border checkpoints, and anywhere you don't want a dog that looks like it might eat someone's face off.
You want to take his face?
His face.
Oh yeah.
Labs also make great family dogs, but they can be hella destructive if they don't have an engaged owner, which is most of them. My personal...
Yeah, because Labs are working dogs. They need to have a job. They need their, Labs are like many in the working dog category, love having something to do. They have that drive that they need something to do to be happy. They love working.
Prejudice aside, I'd give Labs an unbiased 6 out of 10. Dutch Shepherds are like that underground rapper who has suddenly gone mainstream. These dogs are highly intelligent, ridiculously adaptable, and let's be honest, they just plain look cool. They're very similar to German Shepherds, but many find them slightly easier to train. Dutch Shepherds are quickly becoming the go-to for tasks like tracking and patrols, especially in the special operations community. Look guys, I'm trying really hard to stay on topic here, but I gotta say, I love these dogs. I want one so bad.
They're
if they didn't
gorgeous.
cost $2,500 for a base model, I'd have one right now. Based on what I value in a dog, I'd give a Dutch Shepherd a solid 10 out of 10. The perfect dog for me.
Here we go.
Now, if German Shepherds are the veterans and Dutch Shepherds are the up-and-comers, well, I guess I'd make the Belgian Malinois the rock stars of the MWD world. And they 100% live up to that rock star moniker because these dogs act like they're skiing the slopes 24/7, so owners beware. Think of a Malinois as a German Shepherd on Rippets, or nose candy, take your pick. They're lighter,
Okay, I'm sorry, can we appreciate... Hang on, I'm gonna tuck down a little bit. I'm gonna tuck down, and and chats, you're gonna disappear for a minute. Because can we just appreciate the fucking hops on this Malinois? Okay, let me back it up one more. Just check out the hops on these
they're
Malinois.
skiing the slopes 24/7, so owners beware. Think of a Malinois as a German Shepherd on Rippets, or nose candy, take your pick. They're lighter.
Just like look at the hang on, let me step it back. Look at the fucking air these things are getting. Holy crap. These things are fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing.
They're lighter, faster, more agile, making them ideal for high stamina missions in tight spaces. Special operations love them, and it's not hard to see why. These dogs are often used to rappel out of helicopters, parachute into combat zones, and sniffing out explosives with an intensity that makes me tired just watching them. Remember the Bin Laden raid? Yeah, that was a Maligator. But like I said, and I cannot stress this enough, you have to know what you're getting into with a Malinois. Here's an example. If you throw a ball off a cliff, a German Shepherd will stop just short of the edge and work out a safe way to work its way down to retrieve it. A Malinois, on the other hand, it will proceed to jump off said cliff, grab the ball mid-air, and wag its tail all the way down to the bottom. That boundless drive is what makes them perfect for elite missions, but it's also why they're not for your average pet owner. This is my...
Holy They're literally doing high wire acts. They're literally done fucking high wires. Holy shit. These things are amazing.
This is my public service announcement. If you want one of these dogs because you think it'd be cool to own a military or Leo dog, just don't. For the average pet owner, I'd rate the Mally 1 out of 10. For the average dog owner, I'd rate the Maligator 5 out of 10. And for the more experienced dog handler, a toothy tornado kangaroo is an easy 9 out of 10. Amazing dogs. Now, as great as these breeds are, you might be surprised to learn that for decades, 85% of military working dogs were sourced from Germany and the Netherlands. However, in recent years, the US has sought to establish a domestic breeding program in an effort to create a sustainable pool of military working dogs bred right here at home. The largest of these breeding programs is housed at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. This facility provides MWDs for all branches of the US military and is home to approximately 900 dogs at any given time. This shift to making made in America German dogs is a contingency plan in case something interrupts the supply of dogs from overseas. In fact, thanks to Lackland's program, every dog starts life with a leg up with a 5-month foster program. At just 8 weeks old, future military dogs are placed in...
The face! Oh my god, the face! I want to squish! I want to snuggle and squish the little... Oh my god, the little fluffy faces! Oh my god, the little fluffy! I want to hug and squeeze and kiss and love! Oh my god, it's so cute! I'm gonna die! It's so cute! I'm gonna die! Oh my god, I want one! Yes! I want one! Yes, I do! Oh my god, he's so cute! He's so cute! He's so cute and fluffy! He is so cute and fluffy! I want! Well, maybe that makes them even more adorable that they're cute little killing machines. I gotta want one so badly. No, I can't. No doggo fun. I need a house first. I need to get a house. I need a house first, and then I'm going to be looking to get a dog. Once I house first, then dog. House, then dog. Okay? As much as I would love to get one right now, I have to be patient. I have to be patient. I bet I could. I bet I could. I am not an inexperienced dog owner. I am not. I bet I could get Dax to love me and walk right at my side. I bet I could. I bet I could. I bet I'd just love on Dax and go, come with me, Dax. And I bet I bet I could get him to walk right at my side. I used to, like, my dog Sadie, I had her, like, my dog, I've told you guys about my dog Sadie. My dog Sadie, she was like she was a Shepherd Lab mix, or maybe she was a Shepherd Border Collie mix. She was a mutt. She was Shepherd mixed with something. I could actually work with her off leash. When I would take her for walks, I could have her off leash and she would be right at my side. And if I saw her leave my side, I would just go, Sadie, heel, and she would come right back to my side and she would walk right by my side. I was able to work with her off leash. She was easily the best dog I've ever had. I still miss her to this day. She was, without question, the most wonderful dog I've ever had. No chaos, no shock collar needed, because she was a good girl and I loved her and I treated her with love. And because she was an abused dog and I treated her with as much love as I could, she was right by my side at all times. She was a wonderful dog. She was a good dog and I loved her.
Military dogs are placed in foster homes in the San Antonio and Austin areas. These families help socialize and nurture the pups in an effort to set them up for success in their future careers. Now, I know this video has already been going on way longer than it has any right to.
I will keep that
I mean, we're
under
just talking
advisement.
about dog handlers here, not hypersonic missiles, for crying out loud, but this has got to be one of the most patriotic things I've ever heard in my life. You mean to tell me that there is a greater than 0% chance that an average American citizen could have the opportunity to be directly involved in
Want one? Wait, what's he talking about here?
Now, I know this video has already been going on way longer than it has any right to. I mean, we're just talking about dog handlers here, not hypersonic missiles, for crying out loud, but this has got to be one of the most patriotic things I've ever heard in my life. You mean to tell me that there is a greater than 0% chance that an average American citizen could have the opportunity to be directly involved in literally raising an American fur warrior? Are you hearing what I'm saying right now? Like, really let that sink in for a moment, because think about it like this.
Thank you, Nikolai.
Anyone who lives in a free state can build an AR-15 in their garage. Anyone whose state isn't overrun with purple-haired people could reload ammunition at their kitchen table. But there's no way in hell the DoD is going to buy your slap-together Palmetto State Blimp Special or your remanufactured homebrew Freedom Seeds for any amount of money. But as long as you live within a 2-hour drive of Lackland, have a fenced-in yard, and no kids under the age of 5, you can directly contribute to raising a military working dog that could potentially be worth $250,000 someday. Yes, all the yes. This is what America should be about. Americans raising Americans to fight for the rights of Americans.
Yes!
Becoming a working dog handler isn't a walk in the park. Dad jokes. Only about 50% of dogs in training even make the cut, and handlers face their own gauntlet of evaluations. But here's the catch. Before you even get to the training, you have to earn your spot.
Okay. This is from a movie called Megan Levy. I have been trying very hard to find a good copy of this for movie night. I have yet to be able to find a good copy of it. This is about a Marine, Megan Levy, played by Kate Mara here, her name is Kate Mara. She played the Invisible Woman in the Fan Forstick movie. She was in House of Cards. She's been in multiple movies. She's a pretty well-known actress. And yes, fantastic movie. She plays Megan Levy, who joins the Marines and basically gets involved with the canine unit and ends up getting a canine. She ends up being a dog handler. She wants to become a dog handler. She becomes a dog handler. She gets a dog, Rex, who is quite aggressive. Giggle Fingers, it's literally called Megan Levy. Levy is spelled Leavey. And she gets assigned the dog Rex, who is a very aggressive dog. But she's able to work with it. And they form a bond. They go to Iraq and they basically work like checkpoints. And they get very close together. And I don't want to do spoilers, even though it's based on a true story and you can look it up. I don't want to do spoilers, but it's about her and her canine that she gets paired up with, and it shows how close of a bond the two of them get working together in Iraq. And great movie. Absolutely great movie.
Each branch of the military has its own path to handler training, and none of them are easy. Generally, for every branch, minus the Army, you have to either be in some sort of military law enforcement capacity and be evaluated at a kennel before you even get a shot at your first dog. Oh, and there's also one more seemingly random thing. All branches, including the Army, have one very specific requirement. You need to have
Mara,
a spleen.
Colonel.
A bullshit? A bullshit.
Wait, what? Yeah, the actress is Kate Mara.
Very specific requirement. You need to have a spleen.
A bullshit? A bullshit.
Yep, no spleen, no dog. Turns out the spleen makes antibodies that protect you from the bacteria a dog might transfer to you during a bite. Because if you're working with dogs, getting bit isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Anyway, moving on past random good boy facts, the Army stands out as the only branch with a dedicated MOS for dog handlers with its 31 kilo. Fun fact, back in the day, getting voluntold to be a dog handler was considered to be a punishment. If you showed up as an MP and they didn't like you, some higher up would say, "Congratulations, you're on poop scooping duty now." Fast forward to today, and a 31 kilo contract is like hitting the lottery. Highly sought after and fiercely competitive. Regardless of the branch, all roads lead.
Crimson, my guess is through the medical examination. If they do a blood draw, when they do a blood analysis, they can probably check for an enzyme count. If you have a properly functioning spleen, there will probably be a certain enzyme count that would show in your blood. If you don't have a properly functioning spleen, that enzyme count would probably be significantly reduced, therefore indicating either a lack of or a improperly functioning spleen. In addition to medical records, this is in addition to medical records that, something that may not be caught at the time of medical records. When you go through MEPS, they'll probably do additional testing, do additional blood work to determine everything, that you have a properly functioning spleen. Superlane, I can tell you I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil Superlane, just in case for those that have not seen it and don't wish for spoilers. I'm not going to say.
Lottery. Highly sought after and fiercely competitive. Regardless of the branch, all roads lead to the same place, Lackland Air Force Base. This is where handlers will spend 3 months learning everything from basic obedience commands to patrol techniques, odor detection, controlled aggression, and yes, how to clean up dog poop like a pro. Once all the training is complete, a freshly minted handler is then released into the wild where the real work begins. Alright, so picture this. You've just graduated dog handler school, you've been soaking up that sweet Air Force sunshine because we all know that stuff hits different, and now you've just arrived at your new duty station ready to meet your dog. Well, I hate to break it to you, but school was the easy part because the real world is only going to give you 90 days to get your crap together and to get this dog ready. Each new station means starting over with a brand new partner. And since every dog has its quirks, it's the handler's job to figure them out and to build that trust all over again. So how does a handler go about building said trust? Well, they do everything you would do with your personal dog, but to an insane degree. That means cleaning kennels, feeding the dog, checking their health, and training. Lots and lots and lots of training.
Oh yeah.
Every day, this dynamic duo works together on real-world scenarios tailored to their assigned mission. After the first 90 days, the dog team must certify with a passing score being a 95% accuracy rate. Now, compared to your typical military school, these standards are admittedly really high, so what's the deal?
They have to be.
Well, they're so high because this team has to be ready to perform not only law enforcement duties, but also be able to protect high-value targets like, say, I don't know, the President of the United States. For all the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, and the relentless training, there's nothing quite like the bond between a handler and their dog. It's a partnership built on trust, dedication, and the shared goal of keeping people safe. As one handler put it, the job is as cool as you think it is. The work you put into your dog shows in their performance. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Yep.
Deploying as a military working dog handler is unlike anything else in the military. Unlike other units, they don't roll out in a squad of their MP counterparts. It's just the handler and their dog working together in some of the most difficult situations imaginable. In combat zones, canine teams are more likely to be attached to infantry units where the missions are as unpredictable as the environments. One day they might be sweeping a convoy route for IEDs, and the next they're securing a perimeter or performing recon. Keep in mind that quite often, these guys are flying solo into the unknown. It's hard to put into words the level of maturity and responsibility these handlers must possess. Imagine being a specialist fresh out of training, reporting straight to some infantry commander, then being told to get on a plane, someone will pick you up when you land in Afghanistan. Oh, and grab some MREs on your way out the door. That's the level of independence expected from these teams. Despite the isolation and danger, canine teams are essential to mission success. Their contributions save lives. It's as simple as that. That's why they're often at the front of the line, detecting explosives or signaling enemy movement long before anyone else. They're not just assets, they're literal lifelines. And if you thought all of this sounds like it takes a physical and mental toll on the handlers, well, you would be correct. Actually, it'd be more accurate to say that the challenges of a deployment affects both the handlers and the dogs. Like their human counterparts, MWDs can also suffer from PTSD. Loud explosions, gunfire, or the stress of combat can take a toll, which can lead to extreme changes in behavior or
And we saw this with, like, we heard about this with the 9/11 dogs. That when the 9/11 dogs were basically looking for survivors, and all they were finding were bodies, it was taking its toll on them. The handlers were saying that we could see that the dogs were getting depressed and upset that they were not able to find any survivors. And like that's when we saw the, people would basically go and hide in the rubble so the dogs would be able to find a survivor and it would lift their spirits up. It's, when they're, it's basically they have a job to do and they want to do their job. Like, they love working, but if they're not successful in their job, then they're going to get upset. They'll get upset, they'll get depressed, and their drive will decrease. Because if their thinking is much more simplified. Like with a human being, if for a human being, if you try something and it doesn't work, like we have the intelligence level, like, all right, we got to keep going. It happens. There's nothing we can do. We just got to keep going. And a human eventually will get to the point, like, why the fuck am I doing this? A dog, it might happen much sooner because a dog's mind is much more simplified. So repeated failures over and over and over again in a short period of time can demoralize a dog much faster than it can with a human because their thought process is so much simpler. It's job, do job, complete job, get reward. And if they don't succeed and it's job, do job, job not complete, no reward, do it again, a dog's gonna be like, why am I doing this? There's no point to doing this because I'm not succeeding with it. And you'll see the lack of drive, the lack of energy much faster in a dog than you will a human.
Added aggression. Deploying as a canine team is one of the most unique and demanding roles.
As he just said, as Tactical just said, extra aggression because frustration. When dogs get frustrated, that frustration turns into aggression because, again, simplified thinking. People try to anthropomorphize dogs, to treat them like children, like humans, but the reality is they're still dogs. Their thought processes are very basic. If something doesn't work, they just, if something doesn't work, they can either get depressed or they'll get aggressive, and that aggression, will translate into bite.
In the military. It's lonely, it's dangerous, and it's unpredictable. But for those who take on that challenge, it's also one of the most rewarding. If there's one thing Hollywood loves, it's a good story. And what better story to tell than that of a badass dog doing badass dog stuff? Many of these stories are loosely based on the real-life heroics of some amazing dogs, starting with the little pit bull terrier mix who punched well above his weight class. Sergeant Stubby was smuggled into France during World War I, where he quickly earned his kibble. He warned troops of mustard gas, delivered supplies to the wounded, and even caught a German spy red-handed. For his numerous actions, Stubby was promoted to sergeant, making him the only dog in U.S. history to hold rank. Post-war, he became a celebrity, even meeting presidents. Now, not to be outdone, in World War II, a German Shepherd mix named Chip served in the U.S. Army's 3rd Infantry Division, where
you say it was Chip?
In World War II, a German Shepherd mix named Chip served in the U.S. Army's 3rd Infantry Division, where he earned some of the nation's highest honors. During the 1943 invasion of Sicily, Chips broke free from his handler and charged a machine gun nest, forcing 4 Italian soldiers to surrender. Let me say that again in case you missed it the first time, because I just said a dog took out a machine gun nest alone. For these actions, Chips was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, a Silver Star, and a Purple Heart for being wounded during the attack. Unfortunately, military pencil pushers later revoked the recognition, but his actions clearly made an impression on future generations. Now fast forward to Vietnam, and a German Shepherd named Nemo alerted his handler to an ambush by Viet Cong guerrillas. After the exchange of violence concluded, Nemo was found bleeding, standing guard over his unconscious handler. Rescuers had to physically restrain Nemo in order to get to his wounded handler. Nemo's unyielding loyalty saved his handler's life, and he retired as a hero, becoming one of the first military dogs allowed to return to the U.S. after the war had ended. Even today, tales of incredible slobber-covered heroism are still commonplace. In 2019, a Belgian Malinois named Conan was a key player in the raid that led to the death of ISIS leader al-Baghdadi. Conan chased him through underground tunnels, forcing him to detonate his explosive vest prematurely. That has got to be one of the most insane proof-of-concept instances I have ever heard of. Because of instances like this, the next time anyone ever wants to say that robots are the future, all they have to say is, yeah, so here's the thing, terriers aren't afraid of being shot, blown up, or waterboarded, but I can tell you that they'd rather spontaneously combust than take a bite in the ass from a missile with teeth. The mission was considered a resounding success, and Conan's role earned him recognition from the highest levels of government, including a visit to the White House. Let this be a public service announcement the next time you see a dog roll up in a patrol.
I did read
because
it,
if you decide to run and hide, well...
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
Yeah, Moose, I read the story as you typed it. It's okay. Like I've told you before, my Sadie's story is very similar. It's very similar, but you know what? Dax found a wonderful, loving home, just like my Sadie found a wonderful, loving home. And that's what matters. You've got Dax. You love Dax with all your heart, and Dax knows it, and that's all that matters.
A military working dog's career typically spans about 8 years, and like their human counterparts, these warriors eventually have to hang up their collars and retire. Now, unsurprisingly, most MWDs retire due to age or medical conditions. Years of full-speed pursuits, biting, and intense training inevitably takes a toll on their bodies. And much like human soldiers, they develop wear and tear injuries that make it harder to perform at a level required for their service. And when you combine this physical punishment with PTSD, and the time these dogs can go wide open rapidly decreases. As a result, retirement becomes not just a choice, but a necessity to ensure the dog can live out their golden years in comfort and peace. And for many handlers, the hope is that their dog's next chapter involves staying by their side and becoming permanent members of their families. Today, adoption is more common than ever, and when a dog retires, their handler is often the first to be offered a chance to take them home. And for dogs not adopted by their handlers, there are long waiting lists of families eager to welcome a retired MWD into their homes. These families understand that they're not just adopting a pet, they're providing a well-earned retirement to a hero. But unfortunately, adoption isn't always possible, and when this happens, there is a ceremonial send-off that quite honestly brings me to tears, so I'm going to do my best to try to get through this part.
Dude, hold it together. Hold it together.
Sometimes our four-legged warriors are too far gone to be brought home. They might have a medical condition that makes adoption impractical, or they might possess a behavioral issue that could pose a significant risk in a civilian environment. In such heart-wrenching situations, the military honors these loyal companions through a tradition known as the Final Patrol. The final patrol is a solemn ceremony that allows handlers and fellow service members to pay their respects to a retiring military working dog. During the dog's final day, the current handler or someone who has a strong bond with them will spend time playing together for one last time. At the conclusion of this alone time, the canine is taken on the final patrol. Now this could be a small event, or in some instances, a full-on parade is thrown down the base's main road. And if the dog is too sick or too old to conduct the walk on their own, well, an escort will be arranged to assist the dog on the journey. The patrol ends with the handler walking the dog past service members as they render a salute in respect to the years of faithful service. Once the dog enters the clinic, they will get them comfortable and begin the euthanization process, with the handler staying by the dog's side until the end. When it's all over, the dog is draped with a flag and a memorial ceremony is held, complete with a display kennel, a tipped dish, a collar, leash, and sometimes the dog's ashes. Military working dogs are more than just assets. They're soldiers, companions, and lifesavers. Their contributions span centuries, from ancient battlefields to the high-tech front lines of modern warfare. General Petraeus once said, "The capability that military working dogs bring to the fight cannot be replicated by man nor machine." By all measures of performance, their yield outperforms any asset we have in our inventory. Our army would be remiss if we failed to invest more in this incredibly valuable resource. So whether they're remembered as the Canine Corps war dogs or simply as the goodest boys and girls, one thing is clear: the military would not be the same without them. And as we look to the future, it is on us to continue investing in these incredible warriors, because some capabilities, as Petraeus said, can never be replicated. Here's to the unsung heroes with wagging tails and watchful eyes, because no machine, no matter how advanced, will ever come close to replacing their heart.
Oh, such a good boy. Such good boys. Oh, God.
Last dog lived long, still miss her, but you get so much in return. Go for it if you have the opportunity. Less than 3 Ember P1007 red.
Yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, 7. You absolutely amazing, beautiful dogs. Oh, 7. To every one of you.